this? It's been done. I didn't think it would happen.
Thanks for joining us for the STIHL Timbersports Rookie and Women's Canadian Championship. Today, we're located in beautiful Niagara Falls, Ontario, and we'll watch as some of the finest STIHL Timbersports rookies and women put their skills to the test and compete for the top spot within their division.
Welcome to the Canadian STIHL Timbersports Rookie and Women's Championships today. We have the top 2 Canadian rookies from the West Coast and the top 2 Canadian women from the West Coast will be going against the top 2 from the East Coast in both events. The women will be doing 3 events today, 2 sawing events, 1 chopping event. East Coast looking for redemption. West Coast won it last year. Now the rookies will be doing 4 events today. 2 chopping events, 2 sawing events. We're looking to crown the best rookie, and we are looking for the top rookie to represent Canada in Boston, Poland. Plenty of chopping and sawing coming up. You don't want to miss this.
I've been competing in the STIHL Timbersports for 2 years now. I started out in college doing the Intercollegiate League back in New Brunswick, Fredericton. Through Rod Cumberland, it got me into it through school. Did that for 2 years. I got to where I am now. I'm still quite new. All these guys I'm competing against are very experienced. They know what they're doing. Like I say, I'm 3 years into this. There's still a lot more to learn. I'm still just learning the basics right now.
My name is Ben Cumberland. I've been competing in the STIHL Timbersports events for about 3 years now. It's been a bit of a rough ride just because I've been the bridesmaid the last 2 years, so hopefully this year if things go right and God blesses me, hopefully I'll be right at the altar.
Our next event is the underhand chop. Sometimes it's called the horizontal chop because the log is horizontal. The competitors will chop 2 flat spots called footholds. They will put their slab nails in, mandatory to keep the log in one piece as they are chopping it. They're gonna stand on this log. Looks scary, but they do have chainmail socks on because they are swinging a 7-pound axe just about 1 or 2 inches from their feet. 2 opening blows, 2 chip hits to remove this big chip. They will put a minimum of 8 to 12 hits in the front. They will turn to the back, watch the speed on the turn, sever the block in the backside, hop off. Do not cut through these footholds. That's a disqualification because everyone needs their steel points.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next event today is the underhand chop. In this heat, we have Brad Barlow, Lucas Brown-John, George Williams, and Ben Cumberland.
Athlete trade. 3, 2, 1, go.
Boy, was it quick all the way to the right side. Ben Cumberland, this guy brings the fastest speed. He was right on the go. Look at him throwing that axe out. Wow, and he heard that he was maybe not ranked the best underhand cutter. He is out to prove us wrong. Just tearing into it. George Williams, though. George Williams bringing the power. This is going to be, and a stepping up for George Williams driving. And there it is, Ben Cumberland just surprising the field. And right behind him, Lucas Brown-John. Lucas Brown-John getting huge steel points there as well. And look at the log just falling apart there from George Williams. That's unbelievable. Hard to believe this is the rookie division.
My dad started doing timber sports when he went to forestry school, so I've been around them my whole life. It's a great group of people that you spend a lot of your weekends with, a lot of your summer with. It's a small enough group that you can work really hard and see some goals being accomplished. My favorite event would be the underhand chop. Out of the 3, it's the event that I've spent the most time training with. Chopping is something that I really enjoy doing, so I find myself practicing it a lot more.
Timer's ready. Athlete trade. 3, 2, 1, go.
And again, they are all following the same pattern. 2 hits on one side, 2 hits on the other to relieve that chip. And it looks like Janet Walker down on the end, and she's decided to take a chip hit out. I would say advantage Caitlin Stewart, possibly there it is. And Janet Walker, half a swing behind. Janet Walker, who took second last year, is right behind by Caitlin Stewart. And there's our returning champion last year coming off possibly a hard log, Daniel Kai.
We have 4 good cuts.
With the underhand chop just finishing up, we have more steel bragging rights on the line right after the break. Welcome back to the STIHL Timbersports Rookie and Women's Canadian Championship.
I am from Truro, Nova Scotia, and I won the Eastern qualifier. So I get the chance to compete again in Niagara Falls. I got started in logger sports in college at Nova Scotia Agriculture College in Truro, Nova Scotia. My favorite thing about coming to this competition would definitely be meeting up with people from across the country that you only get to see a few times a year or maybe even once a year. It's really important to get tips and knowledge from experienced competitors because they've tried different things and they've made changes to the way they're competing, and then so you can learn from that, take that, apply it as it fits to you as a competitor.
So we are going to begin the stock start in the women's division. Okay, they are good to go.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
And there it is, Caitlin Stewart. And it is Danielle Koch into the wood first. Janet Walker making a beautiful cut, and Janet Walker just crushing this log, making a thin cut on the way up, and wow, Janet Walker. And trouble on stand number 1, celebration on stand number 2. How are you feeling? Came all the way from Nova Scotia.
I'm pumped I won that. That's the most nerve-wracking event because it can go, you can get first, you can get fourth, just like that.
Great cut in 13:10. That was faster than some of the professionals in the U.S. have done it this year.
I'm from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, and I've been competing in the timber sports for 4 years now. I've got introduced to the sport by Rod Cumberland there and gained more of an interest as I got into my later years at schools. You know, it's great having a few coaches teach you things, and to get the knowledge and know how to do it is very important. So I look up to the guys that have been doing it for a long time, and they're the best to learn from. If I'm not 100% technical, you know, I try to use as much strength as I can and get as much power out of every swing as you possibly can, and use your whole body, use all the strength you have to swing as hard as you can and saw as hard as you can, and focus as hard as I can and try my best, and hopefully I can win.
Okay, here we go. Let's bring out the rookie division stock saw event on stand number 1, Brad Barlow. And on stand number 2, George Williams.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
Advantage Williams into the top of the log. George Williams, and it is Brad Barlow, though. Brad Barlow first on the change. And it's going to be Brad Barlow out the top of the log. This is it, the final heat of the stock saw rookie division.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
Lucas Brownjohn into the wood. Problems on stand number 2. Ben Cumberland, he gains that chain break. Problems on stand number 1. Lucas Brownjohn right on the line. And this is going to be fun for both competitors. Ben Cumberland, with a presence of mind, he can make a third cut. And Ben Cumberland looked at that second disc he dropped. It looked like a piece of cellophane. You could see right through it. And he said, you know what, I've got enough wood. I'm going to make another disc because he wants 2 complete discs. Ben hit that chain break on the way down.
We have 2 complete cuts on this side. Unfortunately, we have a DQ on this side cutting over the line.
So it was unfortunately underneath that cut was where Brownjohn took that line off. Ben Cumberland, he's still going to get some steel points. It was a smart move on his behalf to notice that one disc was questionable. And he went back and he had enough wood to make another disc. So he got 2 complete discs. Smart move.
Yeah, it could have been bad. He didn't falter there. Honestly, if he had stopped, he wouldn't have got those important points.
Right, and he has such a lead in the underhand with steel points that he could afford to surrender a couple of his points and still maintain the lead. He's going to be in the number one or number 2 spots on our official steel scoreboard after this, I still believe, because of what he just did there.
Let's see how our STIHL Timbersports athletes are stacking up. Don't go anywhere, as more exciting chopping and sawing events are coming up. With 2 events down and 2 more to go, get ready to see the wood chips fly as our rookie athletes head into their next event.
This is the standing block chop. It's a 12-inch block. They open up a 12-inch scarf here, and they make crayon marks, creating 45-degree angles that they will want to hit. If you miss those marks, you're going to fall behind. And everyone says, what are these nails they've put up top? It's a minimum of 6 nails you have to have, because with those opening up drivers, a whole slab of firewood can come off. It keeps the log intact, forces you to cut the entire log. Now, after you cut at least halfway through the log, you will put big drivers up. 2 big hits up, you'll go around to the backside, put a couple more up, then drive it off in a downward motion. The log must be completely severed to get your steel points.
Lucas Brownjohn from Horsefly, BC. Well, my dad was a North American champion wood chopper, and so he taught me how to do underhand and standing and springboard and single saw. Competition mode, I try not to get really serious, but it always ends up happening. It gets pretty neck and neck sometimes, and like this person wins this one, it's like, and then you can get thrown down if he DQs in this event and stuff like that. So basically the 3 things that I try to worry about is yourself, your gear, and the wood. Those are really the only things that you can control. If you have a bad block, just try and set it up so you can chop it the best way you can. Find an axe that's going to suit that type of wood, and then prepare yourself for that chop.
I'm getting the nod over here that we're going to get right into this standing block, and it will be the rookie division leading from the River Dennis, Nova Scotia. George Williams will be on stand number 1. We're going to go 2 at a time here. And from Edmonton, Alberta, Brad Barlow. And then we'll start with a 2-hit up, 2-hit down. But actually, George Williams boring right in the backside of his log. Right now, he has a 6-hit advantage. And there it is right now. This is going to be coming up. A chip hanging on the top. And there it is. The block has to be completely severed. And we're going for Brad Barlow. It's some slope in this one. And there it is. That's our first 2 competitors in the rookie division. But George Williams just attacking that standing block. Okay, we're going to bring him up here right now. George Williams, that last swing, the block is just hanging there.
They had 2 good cuts.
There you go, 2 good cuts. 35.45 time beat. No wood change. We're going to get right into the second heat. Ben Cumberland, Keswick Ridge, New Brunswick. He is leading the charge right now. He's going to be on the left side of your stage, followed by from Squamish, British Columbia, Lucas Brownjohn will be on the right side of the stage. They are chasing 35 seconds.
Timer is ready.
Half-heat ready.
Cumberland on your left, Brownjohn on your right. Brownjohn with an incredible swing. He slammed that log all the way to the top. Unbelievable accuracy. Brownjohn has put 2 up at the surprise, and it's Ben Cumberland. Look at the facial expression. He's reaching over far. Brownjohn is driving. Cumberland is driving, and it is Cumberland. If you could see the look on his face when he decided it was time to drive that log off, it happened. Just an incredible late surge by Ben Cumberland.
We had 2 good cuts.
You go, 2 good cuts, amazing cuts. I know Brownjohn is upset, but that is an amazing cut. 2 for 2 for Ben Cumberland. We'll get you out of the way of the wood crew here. Are you aware that Brownjohn was ahead in the race?
I think I heard you say it, but I was just trying to focus on what I had to do, and I did my half. God did the rest.
There you go. Second to turn, first to finish. 2 for 2 in the chops today. Big round of applause for Ben Cumberland.
With the standing block chop complete, the next challenge that our STIHL athletes face is the single buck event.
I started competing 20 years ago on a college team, and since then I've probably competed about 15 of those years in all the women's events. My best event is probably the single buck. I'm very good at sewing. I have an excellent saw filed by J.P. Mercier, and it's always been one of my strongest events. It just appealed to me in college. It looked like it was hard work. Once I tried it, I really enjoyed it, and I knew that there was a professional circuit, so I went and I got trained and just started competing and stuck with it. Going to these shows, I mean, the competition, it's enough to feel you on, but the camaraderie between the competitors makes it more enjoyable. And getting to travel to different places, for instance, come to Niagara Falls this weekend, I've never been, or traveling all over BC, the United States, New Zealand, and Australia. We see a really incredible amount of beautiful places when we're going to all these competitions.
First heat of the women's single buck from Grand Prairie, Alberta. She won the underhand first event of the day. Caitlin Stewart on stand number 1. And on stand number 2, her first year in the STIHL Timbersports Series, France Gagne. Big round of applause.
Athletes ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Caitlin Stewart on your left, France Gagne on your right. France Gagne pulling the longer stroke. Caitlin Stewart going for the shorter, more powerful strokes. And Nick Russell is just yelling at her right now saying, push. This is a size that they have not cut very often, an enormous 18-inch long. And there it comes off right now with the encouragement from Nick Russell.
Athletes ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Koch on 1, Walker on 2. Danielle Koch, I would say, has a slight lead. The back of the saw is just about there. This is a dead even race, ladies and gentlemen, a dead even race. This is going to be unbelievably close. Sterling Hart calling her on at the end. It's going to be very close, and it is Janet Walker. Janet Walker with the win in that event. Danielle Koch's slaw got very thin at the bottom. I believe she has a complete disc. But look at this time, both in the 24-second range, low 24s for Janet Walker.
As our women's event just finished up, the stage is being cleared to let our STIHL rookies get underway. Heading into this last event, Ben Cumberland has had a solid day, but can he hold on to the lead during our final event?
My boys are both at the top of their game. They're training a lot right now, so I just throw in with them, and we train all the time at home. And Ben will be competing in the rookie division, and he's doing quite well. He's chopping nice right now.
Favorite thing about a STIHL Timbersports event is I can do it with my family. It's a good way to spend time with them, and it's also just a good way to have fun, get some exercise. In preparation for this whole weekend, I would say between the three of us, we've probably chopped about 200 to 300 blocks between the three of us. And that's probably a low estimation.
So we have Brad Barlow on your left, George Williams on the right, West Coast on the left, East Coast on the right.
Athletes ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Barlow on your left, George Williams on the right, George Williams right off the top. Look at George Williams on the far side of your stage, on the right side. George Williams is blowing that log off. Holy cow! Brad Barlow making an amazing cut too. Both these competitors extremely fast, and it's happened again, ladies and gentlemen. Low 12 seconds. That was ridiculously fast. The speed from Barlow, a couple light hang-ups on the saw, but still just over the 12-second mark. George, you had a great pace. It looked like you lost your back footing, though, a little bit. Did you expect to cut 18 inches in a time that a few years ago would be a world record time?
No, I didn't. Lots of practice. I'm getting better, so.
Amazing cut. Big round of applause, though. 12 seconds as a rookie. George Williams, one event to go. He'll be watching that. Unbelievable.
Athletes ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Brown John on your left, Cumberland on the right. Cumberland with a long stroke. Brown John on a small hang there. Cumberland with this long stroke, just burying it. This may come off on a 9th stroke. Unbelievable. There it is again. And Lucas Brown John, after a small hang, just powering that saw off. That's a great cut. He just had a small hang. Ben Cumberland, a phenomenal cut in the low 11s. He is 1 second off of the national record cut by his brother yesterday. He chose to take a long, deliberate stroke, and it worked.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. We want to thank you for being here today, for being here all weekend long. It is time now for our official award ceremony.
Okay, we're going to get the rookie division up here. In the number 4 position with 7 points all the way from the West Coast. Give it up for Lucas Brownjohn.
With 8 points in third there as well, Brad Barlow.
In the number 2 spot, give it up for George Williams with 10 steel points from Keswick Ridge, New Brunswick. Let's give it up for your overall rookie champion, Ben Cumberland. 14 steel points, dominating the field today. There you go, Ben Cumberland. Again, taking that number 1 spot. Another round of applause. Lucas Brownjohn, Brad Barlow, George Williams, and Ben Cumberland, our rookie champion for 2015. Ben will be representing Steel Canada in Poland this fall in the Rookie Championship International Cup. Okay, we're going to go right into the women's division. And the number 4 spot, her first year in the Steel Timber Sports women's division. Big round of applause for France Gagne.
Next up, she was your 2014 Canadian champion. Round of applause for Danielle Koch.
And in our number 2 spot, she started out right away winning the underhand chop. Caitlin Stewart from Truro, Nova Scotia, winning the stock saw event and winning the single buck. Again, big round of applause, Janet Walker.
First place, she was mentally strong, physically strong. Your champion, Janet Walker. One more round of applause for our ladies.
With all events finished, let's check in with our Steel scoreboard to see the final results of the 2015 Steel Timber Sport Rookie and Women's Canadian Championship.